Hey, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to today's Global Network webinar. My name is Panya Yu from the United Nations Statistics Division, and I will be moderating this webinar together with my colleague, Alexander Loshley. Today, we are delighted to welcome Nour Barnat, Issouf Coulibaly, Petra Kynclova, and Benny Salo. They will present on the topic of Trade in Services Statistics Information System, or TiSSTAT, covering countries to compile detailed trade in services data. This webinar will introduce TiSSTAT, UNCTAD's innovative information system developed to improve the availability, quality, and comparability of trade in services statistics. Designed for national statistical offices, central banks, and other relevant institutions, TiSSTAT helps countries strengthen their capacity to collect and process services trade data in line with international standards, especially via enterprise surveys. The session will highlight the main feature of TiSSTAT, including data collection, validation, extrapolation, and reporting functionalities. It will also showcase experiences from pilot countries, emphasizing how TiSSTAT enhances data quality and addresses current challenges in capturing the complexity of trade in services. Let me quickly introduce our four speakers. Nour Barnat is statistician and chief of the methodology unit at UNCTAD, leading statistical, methodological, and analytical work on international trade, development, maritime transport, and SDG indicators. She focuses on advancing the measurement of international trade in services in the West Africa, CARICOM, and SADC, as well as on global merchandise trade, SDG costing, and financing strategies. It also develops composite indexes on inclusive growth and productive capacities. We also have Issouf Coulibaly, who will be sharing experiences from the country and regional level. Then we have Petra Kynclova, who is a statistician in the Statistical Methodology Unit, UNCTAD Statistics Service, where she contributes to various projects with particular interest in measuring inclusiveness and sustainability of global trade. She also supports countries in strengthening their statistical capacity to collect data on trade in services. Finally, we have Benny Salo, who is a statistician in the Statistical Methodology Unit, UNCTAD Statistics Service. He has worked closely with the IT developers of the TiSSTAT application since its inception, contributing to the integration of statistical methodology into the system. His role has included designing and implementing methodological features, as well as testing, validation, and training users to ensure effective adoption of TiSSTAT. Before we proceed, just a few quick housekeeping reminders. This event will last for an hour. Our speakers will speak for about 35 or so minutes, and then we will have a Q&A session. Throughout their presentation, please feel free to write your comments and questions into the chat box at any time. And during the Q&A session, we will let you unmute yourself and turn on your camera to ask questions directly to our speakers by using the raise hands function. And once again, this Global Network webinar is being recorded and will be made available on the Global Network on LinkedIn. I will share a link to that shortly, and we invite you to continue the discussions there after this event. And with that introduction over, let me now turn over the floor to our first speaker, Lou, for your presentation. Over to you, Lou.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you very much, and thank you for you and Alex for giving us this opportunity to present TiSSTAT during this webinar. Thank you for all the participants to join us. Let me share the screen. I have 10 minutes. I hope it will be good. So today we want to present TiSSTAT as a whole project since it started and when it is implemented and what is TiSSTAT and the advantage and benefit, also the challenges. First, let's look at what's happening regarding the international export of international trade and services. Global service exports reached 8.9 trillion in 2024, making an annual increase of 10%. Commercial service represents 27% of total global exports of goods and services in 2024. So it's booming. And there is still data gaps, despite the fact that the statistics show us a big increase. One of the challenges is the nature of trade and services in terms of definitions. It is not tangible, not like merchandising goods. There is two aspects to understand when it comes to international trade and services. First one, it's regarding the service that is a result of a production activity that changes the conditions of the consumer units or facilitates the exchange of products or financial assets. Example, change the condition of the consumer's goods, like repairing a car, for example. The other major aspect is the fact that international trade and services as considered trade between residents and non-residents of an economy in terms of exports and imports. These aspects are well described in the SNA 2008, BPM 6, the EBOPs, and all the international guidelines. There is a revision of the BPM 6, now it's BPM 7, but it is not being implemented yet. Another aspect is the categories of services. There are 12 categories of services that I am presenting here, not all of them, but I'm presenting in this slide the major of these services categories by developing statutes. As you see, travel and transport remain the categories of services exported most by African and American developing economies, accounting for 60% and 99, almost 60% for both. So the travel and transport is true, it's a major category. That said, there is still data gaps in other categories of services which might impact the data that we are seeing. Indeed, there is few developing economies which report bilateral flows for trade and service statistics. As you see in this map, the orange is no partner data available, and blue there is a partner data available. So no more than 8 developing economies publish trade partner statistics on a regular basis, while a few others publish selected partner country statistics with less detail or less regularity. This is the big gap in terms of data in trade and service statistics by partner and also by mode of supply. But let's focus on the partner. The challenges of compiling the international trade and service statistics are the fact that the service is not defined in a sense that it's easy for everyone to understand. There is different sources of information, counting administrative records, surveys, system for recording international transaction, ITRAs. There is also lack of legal frameworks. There is no formal agreements for cooperation between different institutions involved, etc. In UNCTAD, we wanted to overcome some of the challenges through our technical cooperation with UEMOA, which started back in 2013, and it's still ongoing. The objective was to improve quality and harmonize the trade and service statistics in the region through an enterprise survey. Since 2013, we developed a harmonized questionnaire based on EBOPs, and we also developed a TiSSTAT during this period, and we shared with them also a legal framework. The TiSSTAT is implemented in these countries now, namely Mali, Niger, Côte d'Ivoire, Benin, Senegal. And this year, Benin and Senegal conducted their full survey using TiSSTAT 100%, and they are about to publish this data. So what is TiSSTAT in general? Before I give the floor later to Benny to explain you more in detail, I want to give you just an overview. So TiSSTAT, it's a full system that facilitates the collection and processing of statistics on trade and services. It is designed to be used by the NSO, by central bank or other national agency in charge of collecting the data officially in the country. It enables production of country-owned high-quality and internationally comparable statistics, and we believe it reduces initial investment costs and response burden. The system goes from the sampling to data collection, cleaning, survey compilation, analysis, data integration, and reporting, ensuring data confidentiality and good quality of the data. TiSSTAT is being implemented in many countries, not only UEMOA. So we are engaged with CARICOM countries, you see in red here, to strengthen their capacity to produce trade and service statistics. And this year we will launch a pilot with Dominica and Grenada. There is also future implementation planned for 2026, including SADC, Congo, Mauritius, confirm their interest to adopt TiSSTAT. Also, countries from GCC member states like United Arab Emirates. And we will have a UN Development Account project with Asia and Pacific to implement TiSSTAT in 4 countries in the region. In UNCTAD, we tried to develop what we call TiSSTAT Playground. The objective is to aim to help countries evaluate TiSSTAT relevance and potential benefits for their national statistical processes before full implementation and before even going to the fact that they will adopt TiSSTAT. We offer this opportunity to ensure that this country can access the system's relevance, benefits, and feasibility before they decide to implement. And we are planning to hold this introduction to the playground twice per year, but this will start in 2026. And the idea is to ensure a tailored and confident transition to a full TiSSTAT implementation. The TiSSTAT implementation is not without cost, and this is why we wanted them to start understanding if it fits their needs or not by playing with the TiSSTAT formula. We also, in UNCTAD, established a trust fund for trade and statistics, in particular through TiSSTAT. This was established in summer 2025, so this year. It has 2 windows. The first window to support shared outputs with the market funds. The second window is to fund country-specific technical assistance with air market contributions. We receive a lot of requests. We have now more than 40 member states seek support and want to adopt TiSSTAT. However, you know the challenges in UN system. Without extra budget, it's hard to be able to contribute or to support all these member states. This is why we established the trust fund. The idea is to seek donors also to help, especially the maintenance of the system in the future. It is also a way for us to organize how we want TiSSTAT to grow. The idea is to build a community, a trusted community. All users will share the knowledge. We will all decide what features we want to develop, etc. Few quick country challenges. When we implement TiSSTAT or we go for workshops with member states to present TiSSTAT to let them use the playground tool, we also collect specific country challenges. In average, they all suffer from low response rates in enterprise surveys, which remain a persistent challenge across countries. The limited understanding of trade and service data needs among data collectors, so central banks versus trade versus NSOs, and also structural barriers, including staff turnover, weak enforcement of statistical laws, and lack of stakeholder engagement. In developing countries, the resources are very little, especially in the NSOs, at least for the countries we have experience with, and we are here to support and to make TiSSTAT sustainable once they upload it. I will stop here. I want to give the floor to my colleague Petra, and then over to Issouf. Thank you.
Thank you, Nour. So, okay, so I will continue on your presentation, right?
Yes, please.
Okay, then, but you put it down.
Yeah, okay, it's here. Sorry.
Yeah, so then can you just, because I have only a few slides, so I will continue on the presentation. If you can go to next slide, thanks.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So we are talking here about a technical solution about a software which is called TiSSTAT, and this is a solution for data collection. But we would like to highlight here a few slides that are also important to consider, because to successfully conduct a survey, it's also important to think before the implementation about other aspects just to conduct a successful survey. Each country is different, so it's important to think about the national context first, especially to clearly define the statistical mandate, framework, and also the institutional arrangements in the country before starting the survey. What is also very important is to have a comprehensive and up-to-date business register, which is the basis for service validity and accuracy of the sampling frame. I don't have the slides. Nour, maybe she's lost. Okay.
Yeah, I don't see. It looks like she dropped out. Petra, do you have a copy of that slide?
She's coming.
I have. It's just a moment.
I think Nour is resharing the slide right now. So. Continue, Petra. The slide is back. And it seems we've lost Petra. Hi, welcome back, Petra.
Sorry.
Yes.
I got lost. Thank you. And I see the presentation, so thank you very much.
Please continue.
So I will continue. Another important aspect is sustainability of the survey. So it's important to plan the surveys the way that they can be successfully implemented in a replicated way. So on a constant basis to get the data on a regular basis also for future years. Next slide, Nour, thanks. As per the institutional arrangements, it is we are recommending a setup, but of course it can differ in each country. But it's good to have one leading agency that will coordinate the whole work. Usually it's the NSO, but it can be also the central bank. And then to have a coordination body, which is an interagency working group that can involve all the important partners that are involved in the data collection, such as different ministries, tax authorities, customs, or for example, chambers of commerce. This is also dependent on the country setup. This will allow to avoid duplication of work, make the process more efficient, also improve data quality, and also enhance policy relevance. Next slide, please. The biggest challenge is usually in data sharing between different partners. Confidential data are often held by different institutions, and it's important to have the setup in the way that it's clear that the data are shared among the partners with keeping the data confidential. Sometimes even the lack of legal clarity can hinder access to the data. What can be a solution is to have to develop a statistical law or have a memorandum of understanding among different institutions, clearly define the data sharing protocols to make sure that the data are securely and authorized, to ensure secure and authorized use. There's some best practices listed here. It's important to harmonize definitions and classifications across different institutions. It's also to align the balance of payments and enterprise survey data. And for example, I have an example here on sharing data between NSOs and central bank, but it can be any other institution to encourage the regular data exchange. Next slide. As mentioned already before, it is important to have an up-to-date and regularly maintains the statistical business register. Sometimes it can be really challenging to keep the statistical business register up to date. Usually it's maintained by the NSO, but it's not a must. And it's a database of economic units. Why it is important to have it up to date and comprehensive? It's the main foundation for sampling when we talk about trade and services surveys, but not only that, it can be any type of other business service conducted in the country. It helps to identify enterprises that are engaged in the international trade and services. It helps to link the data also to administrative data sources. And for us, when we talk about TiSSTAT, it also helps for reliable data extrapolation. We can have different types of unit just to distinguish between enterprise and establishments. Enterprises are legal entities with financial autonomy, but it can be also based on establishments as a local unit with single productive activity. Thank you. That is all from my side, and I would like to hand back to Nour.
Thanks, Petra. Nour, would you like to introduce Issouf?
Yes, thank you very much. Issouf is our expert statistics from the UEMOA region. He will talk on behalf of Iago Namaro, who couldn't join because of flight connection. So over to you, Issouf. Please go ahead, share your slides, and you only have 5 minutes. Tu as que 5 minutes. Merci, Issouf.
Thank you, everyone. Morning. It's a pleasure for me to present our experiences in data collection in trade and service.
Please share your screen. Tu peux partager ton...
OK.
Ou je vais partager. C'est bon ou je partage? Ah, c'est bon.
C'est bon.
Merci. Oui,
so, I represent the director of the Center of Statistics with available. The UEMOA is an regional organization for economics and monetary integration. It brings together 8 countries. The Statistical Center coordinates the union statistical activities and draw up texts to harmonize methodology and improve the quality of statistics. To make a long story short, I would like to present the project we conduct with UNCTAD. So in March 2013, the UEMOA Commission signed a technical assistance agreement with the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, UNCTAD, with the main aim of setting up a permanent system for the collection, processing, and disseminating data on service in the 8 UEMOA member states. The overarching goal was to create sustainable, standardized system for collecting, processing and disseminating trade in service statistics across all UEMOA member states with expert technical assistance from UNCTAD. For comprehensive assessment, to evaluate current state of trade in service statistic prediction capabilities across member states. In this project, we have objective to develop methodology. In this point, establish standardized, internationally aligned compilation method for trade in service statistics. There is a point to link with capacity building, strengthen skills across case stakeholder, Commerce Ministry, Central Bank, Statistical Institute, and UEMOA Commission. Survey implementation, conduct systematic trade in service survey using best practice and proven methodology. There is a technical innovation and regulatory framework. In this project, the UNCTAD developed sophisticated computer application to streamline surveys process and reduce manual workload. Regulatory establishment, create comprehensive legal framework to institutionalize trade in service surveys operation. In point of collaborative institutional frameworks, a success in statistical harmonization requires strong institutional partnerships. The Commission and UNCTAD established dedicated project team in each country, creating a network of expertise spanning multiple sectors and institutions. In this framework, we can note that National Statistical Institute, the Trade Ministry, Central Bank, and our partnership with UNCTAD to deliver technical expertise and coordination. In this project, we have to notice a remarkable result achieved. One, permanent service methodology. Donc, today is successfully establishes, standardizes commerce in service survey methodology for consistent regional implementation. 3 comprehensive survey. Donc, each country conducts with success completely systematic surveys across member state in 2018, 2019, 2021, creating valuable baseline data. And main result of this project is the development of a TiSSTAT application, design and deploy advanced computer application for streamlining collection, processing, and publication of survey results. Enhanced capacity significantly strengthened member state capability in commerce in service methodology, survey design, implementation, and TiSSTAT application uses. Improve understanding and ongoing historical integration. As challenge to manage, some challenge are to be taken into account in order to improve a survey over time. The absence of an up-to-date business register, refusal of some company to complete the questionnaires, relatively long response time from some company due to slow internal mail routing to the appropriate person within the company. Quality problems with the weight used to extrapolate results, and complete process of institutionalizing the trade in service tests. In conclusion and future perspective, the establishment of a trade in service measurement system across UEMOA member states represent a significant achievement in regional statistic capacity building. While the implementation journey was extensive, it successfully creates lasting human capital and proven technical tools with UNCTAD and valuable assistance. Thank you to all.
Thank you over to you, Mr. Coulibaly.
Thank you very much, Issouf. Now we move over to Benny, who will show us actually the system itself. Over to you, Benny.
Thank you so much. This is what TiSSTAT looks like. It is an application that you access through a browser. The way we operate is that we install the application locally on the servers at the survey institution. That is to guarantee that the process and the data are fully owned by the survey institution. It is accessed through a browser, meaning that you can have multiple people accessing the same database at the same time. You can do that with people in multiple roles. Everything from what you see right now on the screen is my profile on the UNCTAD server, where I have broad administrative roles. So I can see everything and I have access to everything. One of the many things that I can do is I can manage the access. I can define, give users access to the server, and I can also define roles for what set of permissions these users have. The idea here being that you can temporarily employ people simply for data entry with that limited permission to just enter data, while other people might have broader permissions, and you work collaboratively on the application. One screen that illustrates this collaboration is in the data collection module, the details with the list of all the enterprises that you are interviewing. You're either sending online questionnaires straight through this application, or you have sent out paper questionnaires and doing data entry. Everything happens in this screen. Everything is also logged with which operator has last worked on that unit, also with a log of what has happened for that particular unit. You can see here, this is an example where I've imported data, which is a third way of working with TiSSTAT, and everything is logged so that it's easy traceable what has happened. What I want to do is I want to show you this presentation. There's a few things I would like to stress. One is that TiSSTAT is a very thought through software application, but it's more than that. It is an integration of a questionnaire and methodology all in one. It is as much a way for us to convey expertise in trade in services, as well as something that considerably facilitates the work on conducting an enterprise surveys for this purpose. You can have two different models when you develop a system like this. There are generalized survey applications. TiSSTAT is not the only application you can use to conduct a survey. And they are really good. They are really good. And what they often are general purpose. And what they try to do, and often successfully do, is to maximally find useful functionality to anticipate any survey needs. However, what we do is we have a customized survey application, custom made for trade and services statistics, which means it has a specific purpose. which makes it more constrained, but also in many respects more helpful. It comes with predefined questionnaires. It comes with validation and automatic treatment in relation to that questionnaire. And it comes with sampling and aggregation and reporting guided by the purpose, the questionnaire, and all the validation rules we have. We followed some guiding principles when we've created this application. As I said, it should be constrained where it's helpful, but it should be flexible wherever possible. So it's specifically useful for trade and services. It puts high priority on data security and confidentiality, tries to make every action explicit, to prevent any loss of data, and to have a clear data structure. Let me give you some screenshots and say just a few words before we open up for questions, because that is always the most rewarding part of these presentations. Electronic questionnaires is a high value added in comparison to a paper questionnaire. That allows cascading questions. It allows real-time checks to check for coherence and for completeness, and it makes computer-assisted data entry possible. In our case, we guide this through according to the extended balance of payments classification on services, and use SDMX code, again, to make this as smooth and clear as possible, as well as following the classification. In many respects, TiSSTAT is a concrete implementation on the manual of service trade statistics, international trade service statistics that is published. We have a new version coming out hopefully next year. And this collaborative effort, we want to translate into something concrete that actually helps you go the last mile in actually compiling trade and service statistics. So it has detailed data collection. One thing that comes with electronic questionnaires is help text. Another expression of the fact that the concerted effort of making trade and services classification and concepts clear in the manual needs to be translated to be accessible for enterprises. And the way we interactively place help text where they are anticipated to be needed is one expression of this attempt to make that more accessible for enterprises. Let me just show you a couple more slides. This is the log. Everything, once the data are submitted, everything is tracked. So you always explicitly store the last version of the data, but every change from the raw data that led you up to this reference data set are recorded, which means that implicitly, instead of having a multitude of different versions of the data, you have one clear explicit data set and access to every imaginable iteration of that data set. We have functionality helps you communicate between collaborators. Let me see if there's something really interesting to show you as well. Well, this we find is very interesting, that you can repeat the process of going through collection, automatic treatment that we build into the system, and the extrapolation method. Those, when you play around with that and try to find the most reliable solution and the most appropriate solution, you will generate different sets of results. And we introduce a way to redo your calculations according to adjustment you find are pertinent, and then inspect what is the consequence of those changes. We got statistical disclosure control built in the reporting. Just wanted to mention that, and that the whole system is built to be modular and flexible. It is built to be most useful if you use it from sampling to reporting, but there's multiple entry and exit points in TiSSTAT, depending on if you have a third system that you really like and want to use for a particular purpose. you can still do that. That is, I think I'll stop here. I'm happy to take further questions on the system, but I do want to leave some time for the questions. So I'll pass over to you.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks to Nour, Petra, Issouf, and Benny for introducing us to this system and for presenting on a very important topic. We are now going to open the floor for questions from the participants. I have enabled your camera and microphone. So please do raise your hands if you have any questions for our four speakers. Anyone wants to break the ice and ask questions to our speakers? While we wait, Nour, maybe I will ask you the most popular question from the registration form, which is from countries. And the question is really about capacity building and participating in this and getting support from UNCTAD. Can you say a little more about how the trust fund works and how countries can get in touch with UNCTAD if they are interested in adopting the system in their countries?
Thank you very much. Yes, so as I mentioned, we receive more than 40 countries and 40 requests from member states. Next year, we will be happy to implement in countries from SADC, from Asia and Pacific, and maybe in Mexico also. So the process is, first of all, we receive written request to UNCTAD to ask for capacity building support on measuring trade and service statistics by email or via our technical corporation, or also via a mailbox that we just created on TiSSTAT.un.org. And the idea is to evaluate if TiSSTAT fits the needs of the member states or not. This is why we created the TiSSTAT playground. So we would be offering initial trainings online that would not cost much for us nor for the country, and give them access to play with TiSSTAT to see if it fits their needs or not. The challenge we face now is the resources. So we are currently under capacity of supporting all the member states requesting it. This is why we established the trust fund. And the idea is to have this trust fund be like a tool to build a community for users to raise funds from donors who wants to support capacity building, and to ensure that we can support the member states and also the maintenance of the TiSSTAT for the countries who are using it. So start first with contacting us and expressing your need for capacity building and for adopting TiSSTAT. Thank you. Over to you.
So for colleagues who are joining from national statistical offices around the world, yeah, you just heard what Nour just said, and I think Petra also shared the link to the website for TiSSTAT. So do get in touch if this is something that you may be interested in getting support from UNCTAD. Anyone has questions from the floor? Please raise your hands. I just unmute yourself and ask your questions.
Maybe, so just thinking, maybe Benny, if you want to show other information from TiSSTAT, the installation procedure, maybe also we didn't talk about it, and the capacity, the need of the trainings to start the pilot, maybe something will help countries to know more.
Well, so the installation process is very straightforward, but also customized. There is an installation package that we send with installation manual, and then there might be some technical problems, and we offer technical support to solve those problems. I think the TiSSTAT is designed to be very user-friendly and intuitive. That is things that we consistently work on based on user feedback. And we constantly strive to make TiSSTAT as useful as possible and as easy and intuitive to work with as possible. So that means that the training in best case is pretty quick. On the other hand, the part that Petra spoke about is crucial. We, as data officers, we know that if you put bad data in, you get bad data out. And to get everything set up so that you have a good business register that actually represents the enterprises in the economy that conduct trade and services, that is an essential part. But also, TiSSTAT is designed to reduce response burden. And unless you, but if TiSSTAT means adding on another survey, that increases response burden. So there is a coordination with other surveys to think about. And we are happy to work with you on these issues. But that is a big, so that means, but my point is that there's a big lead up to when you know that you are ready to just go those last steps where TiSSTAT really comes into play to help you.
Thanks, Benny. I see a hand up from Farouk Adeyemi Abdul Malik. So Farouk, please unmute yourself and ask your question. Farouk, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Please
Can
go
you
ahead.
hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Farouk. I'm a statistician with National Bureau of Statistics, Nigeria. And I belong to the Department of Price and Trade Statistics, specifically Trade Division, International Trade Division. So what I want to ask is, as Nigeria is not part of the 8 countries, the West African Economic and Monetary Union countries. So I wanted to find out if it's possible we can also subscribe to the training, the capacity development training on capacity development on the use of TiSSTAT. Because currently Nigeria has signed an MOU with other agencies. We have good institutional arrangements with the central bank, the customs service, and many other diverse agencies in collecting trade data, especially the trade data. So we have that good relationship with our sister agencies in Nigeria. So we have that existing. So what I want to find out is how can Nigeria subscribe to this capacity development training from the UNCTAD, because we already have some underground work on compiling trading services, but capacity building is one of the utmost, is one of the places that we need so that we can talk about comparative data with other countries. I saw the map when you're making a presentation on the countries that have subscribed to this currently of Africa, so west of Africa, the Gambia, Togo, and the rest. I saw that Nigeria is just off that section. So I was wondering if there was a plan for Nigeria to have that featured under this program, so that we can have also showcase our statistics for economic policy and planning.
Thanks, Farouk. Thank you.
Yes.
Over to you, Nour.
Thank you very much, Farouk. It will be a big pleasure to implement in Nigeria. So please do contact us. I will put here the emails in the chat. Contact one of us on the list here, and we will be happy to reply and follow up. That said, please, can I ask a question back? Do you collect data on trade and service already? And if I assume you do collect for balance of payment data, and this is with central bank, maybe just if we know a little bit more from your side, please.
Okay, yes. Nigeria collects trading services data, but for balance of payment purpose by the central bank only. But for the NSO, we at National Bureau of Statistics, we have not published or captured any data. That is what we intend to do. And we have an arrangement with the African Trade Observatory on trying to do some work on one critical sector among the services sector, but that will be a pilot phase such that we can use that to capture other services sectors, So
Very
that's
good.
where we are right now.
Excellent. Please do contact
Yeah.
us and we will follow up together. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Farouk, for your excellent question. Any other questions for our speakers? Please raise your hands. Pretty quiet crowd today. So maybe on my end, I was very interested in listening to Petra's presentation about setting up all the governance structure to make sure that TiSSTAT is a sustainable initiative rather than a one-off project. What would you say are like maybe top 3 or 4 or 5 things that countries should do? What are some of the most critical steps to make sure that that's the case, that when countries adopt this system, it is something that will be used for the long term and not just a one-off project? Any additional thoughts on this?
So is it a question for me?
Yeah, I wonder if
Yeah, okay.
that's something you can.
No, like what I mentioned, I think what I mentioned, all of these aspects are very important because the collection of data on trade and services is very specific collection where we really needs a collaboration between different institutions and data sharing mechanism. So having a sustainable or like updated statistical business register, having a legal setup in the country and some collaboration protocols is really important. But with the TiSSTAT, what I would like to highlight, and maybe Benny can complement my answer, we are trying to make TiSSTAT also sustainable in the sense of applying all the new classifications developed so that the country using TiSSTAT will have already the new methodology included. So really updating for the new features. For example, BPM7 should be implemented soon. It will be a longer process, but it's something what's been out. And also, like if there are new services coming, for example, working with the CARICOM region, with the Caribbean, there is a lot of demand on measuring creative services because this is a very important part of the economy. So we are also trying to advance our questionnaire to capture what is really the interest of the country. So we are trying to make TiSSTAT sustainable for future, also doing all the maintenance which is needed. Thank you. I would give space also to Benny and Nour if they want to add something.
I wanted to say exactly what you said, Petra, but then to also to highlight that from a purely technical standpoint, if you build a system, it needs to be maintained just technically and with just updates to make sure that it keeps working also in new computer environments. And this is one of the parts that we feel, at least I feel is very inspiring to be part of a greater community where we pool our resources and we are not maintaining multiple different systems across the world. We kind of pool our efforts to have one system that will work and be maintained for the benefit of many countries. Nour.
Yes, no, thank you very much, Benny. Petra. No, my point is to reply on Alex's question. How is the trust fund for TiSSTAT funded? So may I? Yeah. So
Yeah, go ahead.
thank you. So it's Not funded now. Actually, it is just an open window for funding by any country or stakeholder or donor. Maybe we should open for a call or invite for a call to participate. We find it important to establish this trust fund after working with the member states. And when we talk about the maintenance fees, we realize that even little maintenance fees requested by UNCTAD, it's not very easy to secure from member states because their resources are very low. And this is why we thought that establishing this trust fund will help us to maintain the system based on donors, stakeholders, other even countries to want to support implementation of the TiSSTAT in developing countries. So far, we only received from United Arab Emirates a little funds that is also in line with our support for revising their question on trade and service statistics. So it's new, but the idea is to build a community to bring together all member states using TiSSTAT to have workshops, annual workshops where we discuss the future of TiSSTAT, where we share the costs, but also the knowledge and the contribution of everyone. Thank you, Uwe. I'll stop here. I see other questions raised.
Thanks, everybody. Let me take one last question before we finish up. I see a hand up from Abdullah. Please go ahead with your question. You're on mute, so please unmute yourself and ask your question. We don't hear you, Abdullah. We can't quite hear you. Perhaps if you can type your question in the chat, we'll also ask our speakers to respond. Let's give them maybe a minute. I see that the microphone was unmuted, but I didn't hear any sound.
Or maybe he can write down the question if possible.
Yes. I hope, Abdullah, if you hear us, please write down your question in the chat and we will certainly get a response. While we're waiting, I know that, we're 2 minutes over time. Nour, if you have any concluding remarks or thoughts on this, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. What I want to ask is just please get back to us, contact us if you have a questions, and let's think together about the future of TiSSTAT if it helps member states. We were thinking about having the tool, which is currently a public good. Just we need the maintenance fees and the implementation capacity building trainings, etc. fees that we will need, but it is a public good, and we've been thinking in the future, long term, maybe making it an open source. Why not in the future? But first, I would like to invite all member states and donors and anyone interested in trade and service statistics to join us, to join the trust fund also, and to be part of this community. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're 3 minutes over. We don't see your question, Abdullah, but the list of email addresses for all the speakers is in the chat. So please do feel free to reach out to them if you have anything that needs clarification. For now, I would like to again thank our 4 speakers for taking time out of their busy schedules to talk to us about this important topic. I find it fascinating and important, especially as economies are becoming more and more service intensive. So thank you for that. And to all our participants, if you can, may I ask you to just take a few seconds to unmute yourself and turn on your camera and join me in giving our speakers a big round of applause. Thank you, Nour, Petra, Annie, and Issouf. Thank you so much for an excellent session.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, everyone, for joining, and hope to see you in our next Global Network webinar in a couple of weeks. Thank you all and have a good one.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye now.
Right.